Hi everyone, and welcome to our Dune Analytics workshop. I'm really excited to have you all here today. We'll be exploring how to use Dune to turn raw on-chain data into clear and visual insights. Whether you are new to Dune or already familiar with SQL, by the end of this session, you'll know how to navigate the interface, run queries, and build your own dashboard. In this session, we'll focus on flow blockchain data. Now, let's get familiar with the Dune interface in the screen. On the left sidebar, we have all the main navigation options. Search, to look for in dashboards, queries, or creators. The Discover part is where you can find the top public dashboards, sorted by relevance, date, or popularity. You can also switch between dashboards, queries, creators, and blockchains. Below that, we have our profile section with the youth library, where you can find all your dashboards and queries, your favorite ones, your account settings, and your usage spent monthly on Dune. Below is the most importantly part, the create button, where you can create a new query, make a new dashboard. You can upload your own dataset to Dune or submit a contract for decoding. With all that information, we are ready to start. Now let's create our first dashboard together. On the left sidebar, click the orange create button and then choose new dashboard. Our dashboard name is going to be Dune Analytics Workshop Flow Chain. You can customize your URL here and even make it private. Let's save it and open. Our dashboard is empty. Let's click the edit button, add the text widget, and put some header. Our title is going to be name of our dashboard, following by the heading 1 format. It's going to be a hash at the front. Later, we'll do some line. And for description, I have prepared already one. It's going to be a collaborative dashboard built during the Dune workshop exploring flow blockchain activity. Here are some markdowns if supported. And let's click save. You can adjust the size. And with that, we'll be creating our dashboards and show our metrics here. Let's click done and finish by here. And see you in our first query. Okay, let's start with some simple query. When querying, you need to answer three simple questions. What do I want to measure? In our case, it's the daily trading volume in USD across all DEXs on Flow. Second question is, where can I find that data? Well, Dune stores DEX trades data in the table called dex.trades. This is a standardized data set that includes all event swaps across many blockchains. And how do I structure the result? Well, we want one row per day, showing the total USD volume, so we'll group by date. So let's get started. Let's create new query. And where's our table? It's here in all curated data. In here, we have the DEX sector. And in DEX sector, we want dex.trades. So let's click trades. We have all the columns of the table. And if you don't know or forget what the table shows, scroll to the bottom and you got the descriptions and all the details. Well, there's also a preview table where you can click. It shows you 10 rows. So in our querying, we will filter by blockchain, which is going to be flow. We'll get block.time. You can also do block.date. And we'll be pulling amount USD. So let's get started. Well, we'll pull in data from dex.trades and where we need blockchain that is equal to flow blockchain. We want only flow blockchain data. And what do we need here? Of course, we need the block time. You can also do block date. And also, we'll need amount USD. And now, let's fix it. Well, our date chunk has to be truncated by day. So let's do date chunk by day. So the engine knows that we are doing this as day. And let's call it day. It's going to be okay. And also, let's do it the sum of amount USD And also what I like to do is to round this amount by 2. And this is going to be our volume USD. So we also have to group by and order by. Let's do group by column number 1, it's going to be a day, and also order by 1, which will also be our column called day. And with that, we can start running our query. Okay, you can click here to minimize. And okay, we have our query and our results. As we see, we have two columns, day and volume, rounded for the two decimals. That's why it's 2 here. Now let's do create new. And what we need here, for day charts, I'll probably use a bar chart. So let's click bar chart. Okay, we automatically got our volume created by our results. In the result data table, we have the column X and Y. You can also, in our more advanced queries, you can group by something. So let's change our title. Our title is going to be Flow White DEX Volume USD by day. Sorry, by day. With that, you have more options. For example, show data labels, but with this amount of days, it's going to be too much. So let's call our axis. The first one is going to be date. And here it's going to be volume by USD. I like to do dollar USD. You can also give some logarithmic. You can take the change format. And what I like to do when we are showing the volume in USD is to go in our y-axis and change our label format, put dollar here, one space, or no space if you like, and then when you see on the dashboard, we have the dollar sign at the beginning. And that's how we create our first query. And now we click save. Let's copy. And here you can also put the description of our query if you like. Click save. Name query, it's going to be this. Our description, maybe not description this time, but let's save it. And now you can add through here to our dashboard. But also, when you go to our dashboard, which is Dune Analytics Workshop Blockchain, when you click Edit and Add Visualization, it's going to be the first one. It is going to be a bar chart with our name. So you only click Add, and it's going to add to our dashboard. You can resize the query as you like to show all the metrics as you want. And with that, we have our first query done. Okay, now let's do our second query. So let's build a query that shows which token pairs are traded the most on Flow over the past 30 days. To do that, we'll again click Create, New Query, and follow with our 3 questions. So our question 1 is, what do we want to measure? Now we want to measure the total USD volume for each trading pair on Flow in the last 30 days. And where we have the data? It's still in the same standardized table called DEX Trades. We want the all data, DEX sector, and trades. And first question, how do we calculate it? We'll filter only recent tables by block time, group by token pair, and sum up the amount USD. So let's do it. Our SQL query. Let's start by doing the basic SQL format. We'll be pulling data from DEX trades and where. Now we start. Our blockchain has to be, of course, flow. Let's do flow. Same mistake all the time. Flow. And also, we need our block time to have only 30 days. So block time, and this is very important, just more than or more or equal by current timestamp minus our interval of 30 day. This is gonna give us only last 30 days. And let's focus on select color columns. In our columns, we'll need the token pair, which is here, token pair. And also, we'll need our amount USD, which is here. We'll do the same. We'll sum it. So it gives us some amount for every day. And we also should round it. It's not necessary, but I like to do this. Always to two decimals. That's how I do it. And just for future, let's call it volume of USD for the 30 days. Let's call it. And now with that, let's group it. Group by column number 1 is going to be our token pair. It's not going to be day. Now it's going to be our token pair. And also we need to order by, it's not going to be 1. It's going to be our volume USD 30 days. Should order by this because we are looking for the most ones, which is going to be descending. And we want only 20 because we are looking for the top trading pairs on flow in the last 30 days and for the 20 the most ones. So with that we can click run. If we have any errors, it will show us. And let's see the results. Our results are the token per column and the USD volume of 30 days. In this type of queries, I don't focus on bar charts, node area charts. I really like to show the table and also a pie chart. Now let's follow table. On follow table, you can, of course, title every column as you want. In our case, it's going to be good. You can align it to center for data to be more structured. We'll do the same on the right column. And let's change the type of our column number 1 to the progress bar. I really like to do this in the volume because it shows that the amount of the total, and also color it of the positive and negative values. It looks very nice with the dollar sign. Be careful to aligning the progress chart to the center because in some, for example, like now, you can get confused by the bars. So I would push it to the left or to the right. But in our case, let's push it to the left. And also, in this query, I would like to do the pie chart, which is gonna be perfectly aligned and done completely automatic. Let's show data labels, which is gonna show us in the percentage way. And our X column is gonna be token pair, and our Y column is gonna be token volume by USD. As we align our cursor, we need to align our label format for dollars. Now that we have the data in dollars. We can also change the title of our charts and we'll do it. So we'll do top 20 trading pairs on flow last 30 days, but we'll not do description this time. I'll show you one feature. And we can also name this table the same. We can do table top 20 pairs is on 20 pairs of flow last 30 days. We click save. Our query name is the top trading pairs, and now we can generate our description by AI. Flow version data, analysis last 30 days, token pairs. Yeah, this is exactly what we need. Okay, let's save it. And now let's add our queries from here. So add to dashboard, and our Dune Analytics Workshop flow chain. Let's add it to here. Done. And let's switch to our table. And let's also add. And when we go into our Dune Analytics Workshop flow chain dashboard, you will see that that we have more queries than before. So let's align it. Let's put it like this, and we can also maybe even make the circle bigger. Yeah, it looks really good. So this is our second query. For our first query, we'll explore something different. Not DEX activity, but the general user activity on Flow blockchain. And specifically, we'll count how many unique senders successfully interact with Candice smart contract each day. This will give us a measure similar to daily active users. So, three questions. What are we analyzing? We're analyzing Cadence transactions. These are flows, native smart contract interactions. And where we have the data, there are two main tables: flow, Cadence transactions, and this table contains the transaction timestamp and sender address. And the second table, flow, Cadence transactions, receipts. This table contains the results of the transactions, whether it succeeded. And what do we need to count? We need to distinct sender address per day, but only for successful transactions. Let's switch the query. Let's hit create a query. In this time, we will not using Data Explorer. And let's start with some temporary tables. We'll start by creating two temporary tables: transactions, which is going to be TX, and receipts, which is going to be RX. Okay, so let's start with our transaction S. Let's make it bigger. And here we'll be doing select from. Our first table is called flow cadence transactions. And from this table, we'll be pulling transaction hash, timestamp, and from. You can always check these tables by doing this simple query. I'll show you really quick. Select from and limit to, for example, 5. If this is a new table, which is going to be integrated in the future in Dune, select everything. And if with this simple query, you can do a preview table. And so we can see all the columns and the data formats. Okay, let's back to our query. So with transactions S, as I said before, we're doing flow cadence transactions for the first one, and we can close for this one. And the second one is going to be called RX, which is going to be receipts. S. Okay. And also select from. And in this particular time, we're doing more or less the same, like flow cadence transactions, but receipts at the end. So from the first table, flow cadence transactions, we'll of course need a transaction hash. Also, we'll be needing a timestamp, which is here. And we need to include this in quote. And also, in this specific data, we be putting the data from. And we also need to include in the quote from. Same thing. This is what we're putting from the first table. And from the second table, flow Candice transaction receipts, we'll be also pulling our transaction hash. I'll copy from here. And also we'll be pulling the success column. It's going to be yes or no. So with this, we finish our second temporary table and head to the bottom. Select from and where. We'll be selecting from transaction table and now join this table to Rx using our transaction hash. We'll be joining these two tables, this table and this table, by transaction hash. So we have no duplicates. And we also have to include where our success is true. And we will do this from the Rx table. Let's group it, group by, and also order by. Also, column number 1 and column number 1. And let's hit to select. Let's click format query. It's gonna format this to the really nice looking table. Select, and we need a timestamp. Timestamp from our transaction table. So we'll hit timestamp from our transaction table, but we also have to date chunk it by day. So let's date chunk day, always in the health, close as day. Also, we'll need a transaction from. So the second one is going to be, we need to count a distinct, so no duplicates. Count distinct transaction quotes from the transaction table, and this is going to be called active senders. We can click one more time. Yes, the query looks really nice. Let's hit run. Oh, so we have a problem here. Let's see. The Rx success cannot be resolved at this line. Okay, let's fix it. Okay, it's here. Let's hit fix query. What has changed? Let's see what has changed. Ah yeah, I use only one C and here's 2C. So we'll reject it. Okay. Now it works. And just like that, we have our result. So our columns is day and active senders. Great. Now let's create some visualizations. For this one, I would use a line chart. Why not? We haven't used Y. Okay, so I see that our output is pulling a lot of old data that is not showing so much. So I would start pulling the data from January 21 to not have this part of the query. And to do it, we can ask the AI agent. So output starting from January 2021. Submit. And like that, it's given us the timestamp starting on 1st January 2021. After reviewing the query, it looks really nice. Let's hit accept and click run. As we see now, our metric is adjusted to the 1st of January, and it looks much better. The title of this is gonna be daily active senders on flow Cadence transactions. Let's put it here, and we'll also do some description that I prepared before. It's gonna be This version tracks the number of unique wallets, addresses, and users who scan these transactions on flow each day, and more. Please don't forget about the axis. First is the date, and second is going to be active senders. We are not changing any format or tick format. No, it's gonna be okay. And the feature I didn't tell you before, it's a color. That can change the color to adjust your metrics as you want. Mm. Let's do something like this. No, now it looks much cooler. Okay, let's click save. Our description is here. Our name is here. Let's click save. Let's go to our library, Dune Analytics Workshop. Our edit, our visualization, and our line chart is here. Great. Let's make it a little much wider. Yes, it can stay like this. It's really nice. We are finished. Last query we've built about Cadence transactions was a bit more complex because it involved joining and filtering only successful ones. So now let's take a short break from heavy logic and create something simpler, but still insightful. We'll count how many token transfers happen on a flow each day. This is a lighter query that gives us a good overview of overall network activity and user movement of tokens. And also, this helps us understand how active the flow token economy is, how often tokens are being moved between addresses on a daily basis. So let's begin. Create new query. We need Explorer. And step one, what are we measuring? The total number of token transfer events every day. Where is the data located? In this table, flow cadence token transfers. This table contains all native token transfers logs from the flow blockchain. And how do we calculate it? We'll group by day, of course, and count all transfers and also order by date to see the trend over time. So let's head back to the querying. As I said, it's going to be a really easy query. This is the table that we'll be pulling data from. I'll quickly show you the preview of this table. Yes, so in this table we have the block date, the stamp, the height, the block hash, transaction hash. Also, we get the token ID from to, the amount, and when it was updated and ingested. Okay, so with that, well, in this case, we will not using query because we don't have to filter on anything. We will only need, as always, our timestamp, particularly this timestamp, which is going to be days truncated as, we'll call it a day. And also, we'll need to count literally everything in this table because this will be our transfers. And of course, we'll group it and order it by one. Group by one and or no, by one. This is our query. Let's format it and run. Quick results, the date and transfers. Let's use a basic bar chart and we see the really interesting trend here. So our title is going to be daily token transfers of flow. We'll call it Cadence native. I'm doing already prepared descriptions for this chart, and now we'll focus on axis. We'll prepare axis. We'll call it date, The second variant bit transfer will not format any tick or label, not even maybe changing a little bit of color. And that's all as we did for this query. Our quickly description, quick title, and that's how fast how can you do the query in Dune. Literally like a couple of minutes and you're ready to go. Look at our beautiful dashboard. Query, little nice looking trends. Ready to go to the next one. So now we'll be doing some really advanced query. We'll be doing flow network performance from raw block and transactions. And in this query, we'll be measuring daily transaction per second, average block time, aggregates gas utilizations, and we'll be doing a percentile 50 and percentile 95 block utilization. Where's this data? This data is open for everyone. If you go here by raw blockchain data, you type flow. Here we have the data. We'll be using flow blocks and flow transactions in our query. So question 2, where's data? It's here. In question 3, how do we structure the result? We'll be computing per block feature, which is IBT, gas ratio, and transaction count, then roll up by day with sums, averages, and percentiles. So let's go to the query. After querying, I will be explaining the query one more time because it can be confusing. So the first step in our query is to make our phrase CTE, which is with BLK is going to stand for blocks. S. Let's make some space for it, and then we'll select our data from blocks, from flow blocks, and we'll name it as B. And what are we going pull data? So the first is our B time, which of course has to be data chunked, of course, by day. And it will be named as just day. I'll name just day. Then we'll be using B number as block number. We will also need B time as TS. I just like to name it TS. Also, there's a really nice function, trycast. We use trycast to do the B in gas used, and also making is as double because this is gas used. And also we'll be doing the same one as here, but we'll do gas limit as gas limit. Yes, exactly like this. So there's one more to do, which is a date diff. Well, we're doing date diff. I'll show you right now what I mean by second. And now here we're pulling a lag by b time over order by b number. Sorry, like this number. And B time. And all this will be called IBT seconds. So this is our first part of our query. It already looks really advanced. Now, the second part of this query is transactions per block. I don't know what I'm putting here. S. Let's start. We'll pull the data from float transactions, and we will only pulling our block number and the count of all the content. So block number, and to count all the data inside it, sorry, S transaction count, and that, and only remember to group by one, by block number, exactly. So there's also a third one, which is join, because we need to join this both table S, and in this one we'll be pulling data from BLK, which are blocks. Let's see the blocks. Yes. And what we need here? We need select BL, BLK dot everything. This looks really funny. And also we need to call ask t dot transaction count and call ask it to 0. So, and all that as transaction count to maintain the same format. And now all using only the left join. We don't want the full outer nor the right one. And it will be full joining transaction per block using block number. And this is the end of our second CTE, third CTE. And after that, we're doing the final select from. And here the party starts. We'll be getting all from joined. Where our IBT, sorry, where our IBT seconds, this is really important, is not null. It can be null. No, starts with selecting. Definitely, I'll I'll start everything by rounding everything to get data consistent. Going to sum our transaction count. And divide it by null if by sum some IBT seconds 2, and one more up to 3. Okay, and yes, this is for this one. And this equation is our transactions per second, which we are pulling directly from the raw blockchain data. The second one will be also rounded. It will be the average, average IBT seconds. It will be rounded to 2. And we want to name it really good. So let's name it average. Average block time every second. We can do this. Yes. Okay. So we have the second one. Now we'll do the third one round because now we'll be focused on gas utilization. So let's start by doing uh, by adjusting to the percent, then multiplied by the sum of gas used, and then dividing this by null if, also another sum, some gas limit, not in total, doing 1 0 for the null if and 2 for the round. Yeah, it's good. And this will be our gas utilization. Yeah, gas utilization percentage. Gas utilization. Yeah, I'll quickly check if it's correct. Blah 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 blah. Round. Okay. Yeah, should be okay. Next one. Now we'll be doing our percentiles. I'll show you how to do it. Percentile 100 multiplied by uh, approx percentile of gas used divided by null if, where the gas limit 0. Yes, here. Now we'll adjust it to 0.50 percentile and to round it to 2. And we'll name it as percentile 50, some block utilization percentage. Okay, let's do it. P50 block util percentage. Let's name it like this here, and we'll be doing more or less the same one as the last one, but we'll be changing the percentile from 50 to 95. Okay, let me quickly see if it's correct. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, should be okay. Now, of course, group by y and 4 by 1. Exactly. Okay. Just let's quickly review our. We'll have the first, which is blocks. Then we have transaction per block. Then we have joined, and we finished by selecting all data and try and recalculating everything up down to percentiles. Joined, not null. Let's hit run. Okay, there's some mismatch in input. Let me see. Yeah, let's fix the query by AI. It earns a lot of time. It's really helping. Date trunk. Let me see. Reply calls. Date trunk. Today. Ah, yes, 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 yes. I mismatched the name. Don't have here. This one. Now the third one. Hi again. I found the problem, and I will explain to you the query one more time. So we started with BLK as all the blocks, and this CTE pulls per block timestamp. It has gas fields and compute the IBT, which is inter-block time, using our lag by time, and and we add the day equal day trunk by day for adding grouping for daily grouping. Secondly, we have the CTE of transactions per block, which counts transactions per block time from flow transactions. This is really simple. Our third join is called joined, which is the left join on transaction count into each block. And then empty blocks get transaction count 0 because of the coalesce. And lastly, this is the daily rollup. If we have the TPS, transactions per second, which is transactions per second divided by total time. We have also the average block time, mean IBT, the gas utilization in percentage. We have the P50 and P95 block utilization by percent, and we and our null if guards divide by 0. For example, where IBT seconds is no null, it removes the first block edge case. So what it shows? Well, for output, transactions per second, how many transactions per second the chain achieves every day. Also, over the average block time, the latency, typical time between blocks, our capacity usage, gas utilization, how full blocks are overall, and also the load distributions, P50 and P95 utilization, which is medium versus peak block fullness to spot congestion spikes. And why is it important? Well, of course, for the health check. If transactions per second rises while block time stays stable, the performance scales well. The congestion signals, for example, the high 95 percentile utilizations with flat TPS suggests that demand pushing capacity. Also, like tuning and accidents, sudden jumps in average block time or dips in gas utilizations can reveal hiccups, upgrades, or validate or network issues. And also, the capacity planning. Ops teams can decide when to optimize gas limits or block parameters. So let's head back to our visualizations. This chart is more for the developers, more for advanced analysis, because it won't show us beautiful graphs, but it shows us relevant information that we can use and use it in our future development and programs. For example, let's do the line chart for our transaction per second. Day transaction per second. Okay, let's name it date and transactions per second. Perfect. This is going to be our first one. We're not changing anything here. Now the second one will be also the line chart, but now we'll be using average block time second. Okay, it's really nice for your analysis. You can delete the label format. It's going to delete all the decimals as you see. So it looks really stable. Now the third line chart. We'll be using our gas utilization PCT. We see really nice spike. I'll also delete the label format here, just for the better info. And on the last ones, I'll probably use an area chart, the P50 block util percentile, and also I use the same area chart for the P95 percentile. I will not force you to wait until I name all these on all these tables. I'll just have the name, which will be flow network performance, TPS, block time and gas utilizations, and also I'll create really short descriptions of our query and add all this chart to our dashboard. Just one, two, three, four, five, and I'll also create a section in our dashboard just to separate this data from the other one. Next, text widget. Let's make flow data performance line. You can also make it bold to look. Save it. All the data here. I'll go to the bottom. Create all segmentation sector. Okay, this is where we finished last time. Make a space here to show the. No, it disappeared one more time. Let me quickly show it to the app and adjust the queries as like you want. Like I said, this query was more advanced to the other ones. It was to finish our workshop, and I really appreciate staying with me all for this time. And for the last video, I'll make a quick review of all the queries, and thank you for watching. All right, let's wrap up our flow chain workshop. Thank you all so much for following along. Today we started with the basics on the Dune interface. We learned how to write SQL queries and build our very own dashboards from scratch. Today we explored four key layers on the on-chain analytics. The DEX activity, where we measure daily trading volume with the token pairs, the user engagement using Cadence transaction data to count daily active senders, also token movements where we're tracking native flow token transfers, and finally the network performance where we analyze TPS, block times, and gas utilization directly from the block data. And that's really exciting is that it was all done with fully transparent blockchain data. Everything we visualize lives on chain and is reproducible by anyone. That's the real power of Dune. It turns decentralized data into something interactive, collaborative, and open to everyone. So if you'd like to keep exploring, feel free to check out the final dashboard on my Dune profile. You'll find it under Yakov, Insights for VC. There you can fork the queries, tweak parameters, or even build your own extensions of this analysis. So thank you again for joining, for your curiosity, and for contributing to the Flow ecosystem's growing data culture. I hope this session gave you both the confidence and also the inspiration to keep experimenting with on-chain analysis. So until next time, happy querying and see you on Dune.